Hey everyone. Now this past weekend I went to Books A Million in Monroe, Louisiana, and I was looking for a few books, and I wound up buying 4 of them. So here they are. First up is Silver Surfer number 6. Or it may have on there Silver Surfer 200, but that's only because this is the overall 200th issue of the series. In previous issues, there was a looming threat that was about to take over the world. Well, he ended up getting a second win despite almost dying, and he saves the world. And because of his efforts, he ended up gaining citizenship in all 196 countries in the world. But meanwhile, he and his girlfriend Dawn Greenwood return back to Boston, and she's feeling a little down. You know, she lives with her father, her sister, and her brother-in-law, but she's feeling down because she never really knew her mother. Well, the Silver Surfer, being the god that he is, finds out that her mother is living somewhere on the west coast in Arizona, and they go on a trip, and she finally meets her, and this is a continuation of that. All right, next up is Nova number 1. Now, this is the first issue of this volume. I'm still a little behind on issues from the previous volume, but when I get caught up, I'll let you know what happens in a future episode. But I can tell you, a former Nova returns. 2 words. Richard Rider. Alright, next up is U.S. Avengers number 1. Now, this is pretty much a continuation from the previous New Avengers series. Now, I just got finished reading the New Avengers series, and they take down the Maker, who happens to be the Reed Richards from the Ultimate line of books, who came to this Earth during Secret Wars, and some of his lackeys. But after the smoke cleared, and after they had defeated him, there were some members of the New Avengers who wanted to leave the team. Like Songbird is now a member of the what's the name of that group? Now remember the Thunderbirds. Hulkling and Wiccan want to reform the Young Avengers with some of their fellow members. But meanwhile, other members like Sunspot, Cannonball, Squirrel Girl, Ayuku Yokonen, and Rescue are going to form a new team, along with new members America and General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, aka the Red Hulk. So it's on, baby. And then finally, Champions number 1. Now, ever since this issue came out, or this book started coming out, I've been kind of having second thoughts about reading it. But I'm going to go ahead and read this, and if I like it, I just might collect it. But in this book, it stars younger superheroes like the Miles Morales Spider-Man, the Daughter of the Vision, the Totally Awesome Hulk, Ms. Marvel, and Cyclops. And, well, the world needs champions, so why not them? Alright, with that book, that brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,750. Well, what are you waiting for? Watch the show. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Coming to you from Clint's Comics right here in Monroe, Louisiana. 250. After that count you just saw, I am 250 away from 8,000 comics. So therefore, the road to 8,000 begins now. All right, well, as you can see, I'm wearing another Mardi Gras themed Comic Hero tee, along with this Mardi Gras hat that I've worn in episode 150 in the Comic Hero Show Extra that I did over at Excalibur Comics in Shreveport. And speaking of tees, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, last week's episode, I asked, who is Captain America's arch nemesis? Well, the correct answer is the Red Skull. And 8 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in a drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So, the winner of the free tee on this week's episode of the Comic Hero Show is Roz Kiko. Okay, now, I actually met this person when I did the Comic Hero Show Extra at Excalibur Comics in Shreveport. I don't know their actual name, but if you're this person, I know you're watching this directly from YouTube. You're not a friend on Facebook, but anyway, you just won a free tee, so congratulations. All right, here's the question for a free tee for next week's episode. Who are the 5 original X-Men? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee in next week's episode. All right, now D'Angelo Blue from Warren, Ohio has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this one features a classic X-Men character and a classic Nintendo character. Now, you're probably thinking, how is this going to work out, Vic? Well, after doing a little research on both of them, I think you'll really enjoy this, and it should work. Representing Marvel, we have the Beast. And representing Nintendo, we have Link. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Beast versus Link. Beast possesses animal-like physiology with enhanced attributes, razor-sharp claws and teeth, and his genius-level intellect. Link is a skilled young warrior who is an excellent swordsman, archer, and is excellent at wielding a boomerang. He also possesses other weapons, mask, and mystical transformation powers. Who would win? Link wouldn't stand a chance against Beast early on. Beast would dodge every attack by Link. Beast would then say, "Young man, aren't you too young for this? And what's the meaning of all this grunting while you attack me?" Link would then resort to archery. This also proves to be unsuccessful. Link soon realizes that, and I'm saying this with apologies to Ric Flair, to beat the animal, he has to be the animal. He then transforms into his wolf form from The Legend of Zelda, the Twilight Princess. Beast then tries to dodge attacks, but Link would stay with him every step of the way. Beast then tries to go on offense, but Link pounces on him and begins to claw and bite at him. He then transforms back into his regular form and immediately stakes a boomerang into Beast's midsection. Link wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight. And if you have a fight request for future episodes, contact info is down there. Alright. Let's get to the comics I bought this week. Comic books I bought this week. First up is Star Trek Boldly Go number 5. Now, just when you thought that you would only see these in the Next Generation and beyond, this crew encounters the Borg. Now, at this point, this series takes place right after Star Trek Beyond, and the Enterprise is currently being rebuilt, or they're building it, or Starfleet's building a new one rather, and several members of the crew are on separate ships, or if you're Spock and you're Uhura, you're on New Vulcan, and the Borg end up kidnapping a Starfleet vessel and then transforming them into the Borg. Now, you know how their ship was squared? In this one, it's round. And so, but the Enterprise, they take business, they take down the Borg, but in doing so, they cross Romulan territory, which we all know that in any generation of Star Trek is a no-no. And in this one, we find out the backstory of Keela, who made her debut in Star Trek Beyond, and I can't wait to read this. Next up is Super Sons number 1. Now, I'm so excited about this book because this is the book that stars Robin and Superboy, who are, of course, the sons of Batman and Superman, respectively. And, boy, you know, when I found out that they were getting their own book during the DC Rebirth show almost a year ago, I thought, holy cow. When this comes out, I am definitely reading it the day it does. And here it is. Next up is Green Lanterns number 17. Now, this is part 2 of Blackest Nights. And Batman enlists the help of both Simon and Jessica to help him solve a case in Gotham City. And in this one, a lot of the populace of Gotham City have succumbed to fear. Now, Superman thinks that it's a Yellow Lantern. Simon, however, thinks that it's the Scarecrow. Both of them disagree with each other. However, at the end of it, we find out they're both right. Scarecrow has somehow ended up getting a hold of some of the residual power of a yellow Power Ring, and he's using it at his own disposal. Oh, not to mention, Alfred gets infected and beats the living daylights out of Simon. All right, next up is Superman number 17. This is part 1 of a new story arc called Dark Harvest. Now, in the last one, Superman, with the help of other super-related characters from the DC multiverse, take down a person who has kidnapped them and sapped them of all their powers. Ended up restoring their powers, and they take them down. And this is, of course, the beginning of a new story arc. All right, next up are 4 issues of the same book, and that book is New Superman. And let me put them in some kind of order so I don't mess this up. Bear with me. All right, I have New Superman number 5. New Superman number 6. New Superman number 7. And New Superman number 8. Now, I love this one because it talks about the story of Kong Keaton, who is a bully. He was a high school bully who threatened a lot of his fellow students. But for some reason, there was this scientist who said, okay, I want to use this guy to become the China version of Superman. And he reluctantly goes ahead and he goes through with the whole experiment. He becomes a new Superman, and it becomes a learning curve. He becomes a member of the Justice League of China. And they take down a few bad guys, but he makes a lot of mistakes and ends up leaping before he looks. And along the way, he ends up meeting the pre-Flashpoint Superman, and then gets a lot of pointers from him, and he starts to mature. Sort of. And then finally, Invincible Iron Man number 4. Now, I just read the first issue of this one, and it talks about Riri Williams. Like, now, this takes place, of course, after Civil War II. She ends up building her own Iron Man armor after finding out that Tony Stark had died. But she later finds out that he didn't exactly die, but more like transferred his mind into some kind of hologram that could actually talk to her, and he ends up training her to become the new Iron Man, or better yet, Iron Heart. All right, that's 9 I bought, which brings the total number of comics I bought since December of 1997 to 7,759. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and here's the question again for a free tea for next week's episode. Who are the 5 original X-Men? Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tea in next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Roz Kiko
I want to say he's from Shreveport. I'm not sure. He's from the Shreveport, Bossier City area. I'll assume he is because when I met him, it was at Excalibur Comics when I did the Comic Hero Show Extra. You win a free tee in this week's episode. In the road ahead for the show, next week I'm going to be wearing the last of the Mardi Gras themed Comic Hero tees, and this one is going to be green. And also on the road ahead for the show, in episode 156, I will be wearing a St. Patrick's themed Comic Hero tee. And then real soon, and I think I mentioned this before on the show, in the coming weeks, or the coming month, or how many I can make, I am going to begin selling shirts inside both Clit's Comics and Southern Realms Comics and Games in Ruston. I have agreed in principle to with both Claire and over here, and James and Jennifer Gunter over at Southern Realms to sell shirts. And folks, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. They will be screen printed. So you won't have to worry about, so if you buy them, you won't have to worry about like washing them in cold water and letting them drip dry. You can wash them any way you want. So yeah. And also, I wanted to say congratulations to my friend Jamie Baldry from Minden, Louisiana. She just gave birth to her third baby, so congratulations, Jamie. And happy birthday this Saturday to my brother from another mother, Alex Heckela. Happy birthday, Alex. Love you, bro.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm Victor Dudley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 153. Right back here at Clit's Comics. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.